أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us the more chance of the 15th night of Shaabaan. For Maghrib time today, the night of 15th of Shaabaan has started, which is a very blessed night and a very, very virtuous night. Many specialities are attached with this month and this night, as you have read through, that what's going to happen in the whole of the year is handed over to the angels to be carried out. So in a way, we make dua to Allah Ta'ala, we make request to Allah Ta'ala, Ya Allah do this for me, Ya Allah do this for me. Hopefully, inshallah Ta'ala, our request will be accepted. So it's an opportunity of making dua for oneself, one's betterness of deen and dunya, one's family, and generally for the Muslims. This is one matter that the whole year's plan is handed over to the angels to be carried out accordingly. Second matter which occurs in this night is our record is presented to Allah Ta'ala. So as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I prefer that my record is presented in a state that I'm fasting. So if there is any shortcoming in my record, so on one side is the shortcoming, weakness in the record book, and at that time Allah looks upon us, what is my servant doing? So when we are engaged in ibadat of Allah Ta'ala, obedience of Allah Ta'ala, hopefully with that Allah Ta'ala will overlook our shortcomings, our weakness, and forgive us. So this is a second matter. That whole year's record is presented to Allah Ta'ala. So we ask Allah Ta'ala for forgiveness, what good we have done, for the acceptance of that good. Whatever wrong has occurred, we ask for forgiveness for it. Third matter which occurs is Allah Ta'ala special mercy descends. As mentioned, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when it's the night of 15th of Shaabaan, from the time of Maghrib till Subha Sadiq Fajr time, a continuous announcement is made from Allah Ta'ala. Is there anyone seeking forgiveness and I may forgive him? Anyone searching for rosy sustenance, I will give him. Anyone inflicted in calamity, trouble, and he asks it to be removed, and I remove it. So it's a night where dua is readily accepted. So this is also a chance for making dua during the night with full conviction. Inshallah, the duas will be accepted. Also, it's a night of maghfirat, that Allah Ta'ala forgives in immense amount the people. So these are some of the specialities of this night. And 3 actions are stated by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for this night and day. Stay awake as much as possible and make ibadat. Secondly, fast on the 15th of Shaabaan. If one fasts 15, that is, it is a nafal mustahab fast. If somebody fasts for 3 days, 13, 14, 15, even better. But if somebody only fasts for 1 day, 15, that is also permissible. इमाम शाफी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते हैं कि 5 रातों में दुआ कबूल होती है. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi says that in 5 nights du'as are ready and accepted. Every time dua is accepted, but there are some special time, some special occasions. Amongst them, as Imam Shafi Rahman mentions, 5 nights. Jummah ki Raat, the night of Jummah, the night which is before the Jummah, between Thursday and Friday. Eid al-Fitr ki Raat, the night Eid al-Fitr after the end of Ramzan Sharif. Eid al-Adha ki Raat, the Qurbani Eid, the night of that 10th of Zil-Hijjah. Pehli Rajab ki Raat, the 1st of Rajab, or Shab-e Bara'at, and the 15th of Shaabaan is amongst the nights where dua is accepted. Imam Bayhaqi ने हज़रत आयशा रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हा से रिवायत की है कि जनाब रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम मेरे पास तशरीफ़ लाए और कपड़े उतार कर रखे. Imam Bayhaqi rahmatullah alayhi, he narrates from Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha that she said that after Isha, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam came to me to my room. And he took off his extra clothes to go to sleep, to rest. मगर इत्मीनान से बैठे भी न थे कि उठे और कपड़े पहनकर रवाना हुए. मजलिस बैठेंगे या जाना चाहते हो? मजलिस में यहाँ तशरीफ लिया है? हाँ सर, यहाँ तशरीफ लिया मजलिस से हो. That Aisha radiallahu ta'ala narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he came to me after Isha Salat and took off his extra clothes to rest, to go to sleep. मगर इत्मीनान से बैठे भी न थे कि उठे और कपड़े पहनकर रवाना हुए. But he did not sit comfortably and he got up again, put on his clothes and went out of the room. मुझे गैरत आई और ये गुमान हुआ कि आप किसी शौकन के पास जा रहे हैं. I became envied and I thought that it is my night and Rasulullah is going to some other wife. So I started to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to see where he was going. लिहाजा मैं आपके पीछे हो ली. So Rasulullah quietly he opened the door and he went out of the room. And he went a little further. I also followed him. I also came out of the room to follow him. बस मैंने आपको कब्रिस्तान बकी में मोमिन मर्द और मोमिन औरतें और शुहदा के लिए मग़फ़िरत की दुआ करते पाया. So I followed and I found Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He walked to the Qabristan of Medina Sharif, Jannatul Baqi, which is near to the Masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Aisha radiallahu says, Rasulullah sallallahu went into the graveyard Qabristan and he was making dua for the deceased, mu'min males and females and the shuhada. बस मैंने दिल में कहा कि आप पर मेरे माँ बाप कुर्बान. I said to myself in my heart, my parents be sacrificed upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. आप अपने रब के काम में हैं और मैं अपनी दुनिया के काम में हूँ. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is engaged in the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala and I am in my own world, meaning thinking that Rasulullah has gone to some other wife. Meaning she became satisfied that Rasulullah had not gone to any other wife. So she quickly came back to her room again. उसके बाद मैं वापस हुई और अपने कमरे में दाखिल हुई. So I became satisfied I returned before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and came back to my room, and so that Rasulullah sallallahu would not see me, I walked at a quick pace. और मेरा सांस चढ़ा हुआ था कि पीछे से हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम भी आ पहुँचे, because I had walked at a quick pace, so I was breathing heavily. After me, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also came back in the room. और फरमाया कि सांस की क्या हालत हो रही है आयशा? रसूलुल्लाह से inquired, why are you breathing heavily, O आयशा? तब मैंने अर्ज़ किया कि मेरे माँ बाप आप पर कुर्बान हो. So I had to explain, I had to say that my father and mother will sacrifice upon you. आप तशरीफ़ लाए और कपड़े उतारे, मगर इत्मीनान से बैठे भी न थे कि उठे और कपड़े पहनकर बाहर निकले. So she said, you came to the room and you took off your extra clothes to go to sleep, but you did not even sit down comfortably, and you got up again and you went out of the room. मुझे सगैरत आई और ये गुमान हुआ कि आप मेरी किसी शौकन के पास जा रहे हैं. So I became envied and I thought that it is my night and you are going in my night to some other wife. यहाँ तक कि मैंने आपको बकी में देखा क्या कर रहे थे, जो कुछ भी कर रहे थे. So I followed you and I found you in Jannatul Baqi, the Qabristan, and you are doing what you are doing, meaning engaging, making dua to Allah Ta'ala for the deceased believers. So she explained that this is why, and then I came back in a quick pace. Because of that, I'm breathing heavily. आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम फरमाया, ए आयशा, क्या तुम्हें ये खौफ था कि अल्लाह और उसका रसूल तुम पर जुल्म करे कि तुम्हारी बारी के दिन दूसरी जगह जाए? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha, do you think that Allah and His Prophet will oppress you? Meaning, it is your night and in your night I will go to some other wife? That would not be possible. But the reason for me doing what I did is this. बात ये हुई कि मेरे पास जिब्राइल अलैहिस्सलाम आए और कहा कि ये शब आज शब बारात है. Rasulullah explained, the matter is, as you saw, I came in the room to rest. But at that time, Jibreel Islam came to me and informed me that this is the night of Shab-e-Barat. This is night of 15th of Shaabaan. और इस रात में बनु कल्ब की बकरियों के सूफ और बालों की मिक़दार खुदा के यहाँ रहाई दिए हुए दोज़खी छूटेंगे. And Jibreel informed me that in this night, to the amount of the hair on the clan Banu Kalb, the goats they have, and the hair upon the goats, to that amount Allah Ta'ala frees people from Jahannam. Meaning it's a night of freedom from Jahannam. This is why it is called Laylatul Bara'at. Bara'at means freedom, and Layl is night, and in Farsi it is called Shab-e-Bara'at, the night of freedom from Jahannam, night of salvation from Jahannam. So it is such a virtuous night. It's a night of forgiveness. So this is why I took the chance and opportunity. अलबत्ता जो मुशरिक काफिर होगा और जो कीनावर होगा और जो रिश्ते नाते के हुकूक तोड़ने वाला होगा और तखनों से नीचे कपड़ा लटकाने वाला होगा और माँ बाप का नाफरमान होगा और जो शराब पीने का आदी होगा, उसकी तरफ निगाह रहमत न फरमाएंगे. But even in such a virtuous night, there are some people that because of their sins, Allah Ta'ala does not look upon them with His mercy, and Allah Ta'ala does not forgive them. Amongst them, a non-believer. That non-believer in the state he is not forgiven even on this night. Secondly, who keeps hatred in his heart for other people. Kina, hatred. Something happened with someone and he cannot take revenge. So he keeps it in his heart and he thinks badly of that person and he looks for a chance to take revenge, and if that person is inflicted with calamity, trouble, and this person becomes happy because of that, that's a sign of hatred. So nevertheless, grudge. Somebody keeps a grudge in his heart for other people, and he becomes happy at other people's harm and be fallen by trouble. So such a person is also not forgiven until he clears his heart and he clears his way from the straight. Thirdly, the person who breaks relative ties is not on good terms with his family members. Father, mother, they are not pleased with him. Brothers and sisters, he is not on speaking terms with them. And other near relatives. So this is one of them, that who is not on a good terms with his relatives, then long as he does not correct that matter, long as he does not ask forgiveness from them, long as he not correct his ties with them, then such a person, even though he may make dua, but long as he does not correct these traits and these bad habits, he is not forgiven even on such a virtuous night. So, we are young at the moment. It should not be that the brother is not speaking with his another brother, the brother is not speaking with his sister. So, small matters, tomorrow will become family man. These matters will become even more serious and more grave. So one should not have such a nature. I don't want to know you, you're not my brother, not my sister. It's a very, very dangerous and a very, very bad trait. And it increases. If a person can't get along in his younger days, youth, he has lesser responsibilities, and more responsibility will come upon him, more contacts will come upon him. It will be even more difficult. So nevertheless, that is a matter. Allah in a madrasa, hopefully there will be no one like that. But even then, if there is something between near people, brothers, sisters, even parents, then one should ask forgiveness from them, and then ask forgiveness from Allah Ta'ala. Inshallah Ta'ala, it will be forgiven. But staying in a state the person is, that he's not bending his way, he's not correcting his way, and he makes dua, it will not be accepted. और तखने से नीचे कपड़ा लटकाने वाला, this is something which has become very, very common. People do not care about it. For males to cover their ankles either with trouser, lungi, or kurta, by everything, it comes into it. So such a person is not forgiven also. So for small matter, a person loses out, so on such a great matter. So one should be careful regarding his clothing, his jubba, his pajama, should be clearly above the ankles. और जो माँ बाप का नाफरमान होगा, so amongst them who is disobedient to his parents, the general rule is whatever is permissible and the parents commands the child to do it, it becomes wajib for the child to do it. And what is permissible and the parents stopping from doing it, it becomes wajib on the child to abstain from it, and it becomes non-permissible. For example, 10 o'clock at night, he wants to go out with his friends, but the father or mother says, no, you can't go. So now if you go walk out, he has committed a major sin. So this is a general rule regarding obedience and disobedience of the parents, that what is permissible and the command to do it, it becomes wajib for the child to do it. And what is permissible, but the parents stop him from doing it, it becomes wajib to stop from it and not do it. So this is also something very serious. People do not consider it, become very general. Even staying in madrasa, we phone home, we speak with our parents, especially the mother, we start to argue with them, and we start to quarrel with them on the phone, and the mother has to put down the phone, she's crying, and it's made her sad. This also comes into it. Or when we are in front of them, and we behave in such a way which displeases the parents, this is something very, very common. People do not think much about it, but because of that, The children, they put themselves in trouble. They realize later in their life when they become family man, and the children, they do it with them, then they realize, but that is too late. A sensible son, sensible child, while he's young, he's not married, he's single, but he's obedient to the parents. Inshallah, you will see the barakat of that in later life. और जो शराब पीने का आदी हो, amongst them, person was made a habit of consuming liquor and he is not giving it up. So even since he's such a person, and without giving up this habit, he makes it over a dua. His dua is not accepted, meaning who is committing a major sin and he does not make intention of leaving that major sin, then such a person's dua is not accepted and is not forgiven even on such a blessed night. So it's not a state of a Muslim to commit a major sin anyway. But if it occurs, he should make tawbah sincerely according to his conditions and clear it so his record stays clean and clear. बस उसके बाद आपने कपड़े उतारे और सोने का इरादा फरमाया. So after saying this to Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, once again Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he started to take his extra clothes off and started to go to sleep. But then again, because of the virtue of the night, he could not sleep. फिर फरमाया कि आयशा, क्या इस रात को इबादत गुजार होने की मुझे इजाज़त देती हो? So because of the right of the wife, so Rasulullah is asking permission from Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, do you give me permission to pass this night in ibadat? मैंने अर्ज़ किया कि बेहतर है आप और मेरे माँ बाप कुर्बान. I said better, fine, may my parents be sacrificed upon you, meaning it's my night, I would like to sleep with you, but you want to turn towards Allah Ta'ala and acquire the benefit of this night, happily, readily, I give you permission to engage in ibadat. बस आप खड़े हुए और देर तक सजदे में रहे. So Rasulullah started to perform the salat, and while performing salat, he went in the ruku sajda, and he made such a sajda, and he became so stand still that Aisha said, I thought his ruh has come out. बस आप खड़े हुए और देर तक सजदे में रहे, यहाँ तक कि मुझे गुमान हुआ कि कहीं आपका इंतकाल तो नहीं हो गया. So Rasulullah went in the sajda and stayed so long in the sajda and became so stand still, there was no movement, no breathing, anything. So I became frightened and started to think that his ruh might have come out. लिहाजा मैं उठी के तहकीक करूँ. So I came out of my bedding to find out the condition of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. आपके तलवे पर अपना हाथ रखा तो मालूम हुआ कि नफ्स में हरकत है. So Rasulullah is in a state of sajda. I put my hand, my fingers on the inner part of the foot, the inner part. So there was a blood movement in the veins, meaning the blood was circulating. So I became satisfied that Alhamdulillah, Rasulullah is well and fine. But he was so attentive in his salat that there was no movement from his body at all. बस मैं खुश हो गई that Rasulullah is well and fine, his ruh has not come out. मैंने सुना, and then after that Rasulullah started to make this dua little loud in the sajda. मैंने सुना कि सजदे में ये दुआ मांग रहे थे. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was making this dua in the sajda. أعوذ بأفوك من إقابك وأعوذ برداك من سخطك وأعوذ منك جل وجهك لا أحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. So Rasulullah is making this dua over and over again in the sajda. أعوذ بأفوك من إقابك, I seek your protection with your forgiveness from your punishment. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ بِرَضَاكَ مِنْ سَخَطِكَ. I seek protection with your pleasure from your displeasure. أَعُوذُ مِنْكَ. I seek protection from yourself. Great is yourself. I cannot praise you as you are, as you have praised yourself. This we have written down. Inshallah, we'll put it on the door so you can learn it and you can recite it either in salat or in dua. या अल्लाह, मैं तेरी माफ़ी की पनाह चाहता हूँ तेरे गुस्से से. O Allah, I seek protection through your forgiveness from your anger. और तेरी पनाह चाहता हूँ तेरी रज़ा के ज़रिए से तेरी नाराज़गी से. I seek protection through your pleasure from your displeasure. And I seek protection from yourself. And I cannot praise you as you have praised your own self, as you are. बस जब सुबह हुई तो ये दुआ के अल्फाज मैंने आपसे जिक्र किए. So night time went to sleep, but in the morning time I mentioned to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The memories were very, very strong. So just listening few times, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala memorized the dua. And in the morning she mentioned, Ya Rasulullah, in the night your salat, you kept repeating this dua. आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि ए आयशा, ये दुआ खुद भी सीखो और दूसरों को भी सिखाओ. Rasulullah said, O Aisha, learn this dua yourself and teach to other people also. क्योंकि जिब्राइल ने मुझे सिखाई है और सजदे में बार बार कहने का मुझे हुक्म दिया है. And said Jibril Islam, he has taught me this dua and he has asked me to keep repeating it in sajda. So in nafal salat it is permissible to make dua, zikr which are in Quran Sharif, Hadith Sharif. So in sajda, if somebody makes a long sajda and recites this dua, it is permissible. इस रात की इबादत और क़याम ये है. So as we learn that we have been advised towards three things during this day and night. That night time stay awake and make ibadat as much as possible. The next day keep the fast of the 15th of Shaabaan. And night time if possible go to Qabristan and make dua for the deceased people. So these are the three acts which are mustahab, preferable, nafal and approved. If one can carry them out, it is better. So now, when he stays awake during the night, what ibadat can he make? जानना चाहिए कि इस रात की इबादत और क़याम ये है कि नफल नमाज पढ़े मगर बिला जमाअत. So one can perform nafal salat. If he has qaza upon him, then it is more important that he makes sincere tawbah and he performs the qaza salat. Because qaza salat is farz and nafal salat is nafal. So if someone has qaza salat upon him, he should engage in performing qaza salat and complete the qaza which is upon him. He should make a regular habit and clear himself from qaza. And if he is free from qaza, then he can perform nafal salat. Especially hafiz, he can recite Quran Sharif in nafal salat. He should make a habit of reciting as much Quran Sharif as possible. So that is the best way of remembering Quran Sharif, making zikr of Allah Ta'ala by reciting Quran Sharif in the Nafal Salat, especially during night time. Magar bila jama'at, but one should not make jama'at for the Nafal Salat, neither at home, neither in the masjid, individually. और जितनी भी हो सके बिला तायुन तादाद. He does not need to fix, I will perform so many rakat. Easily, conveniently, whatever he can perform, 2 2 long rakat, 4 rakat, 8 rakat, whatever, without fixing upon himself. कुरान शरीफ की तिलावत या हदीस शरीफ पढ़े या सुने या सुभान अल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वगैरह पढ़े और रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम दुरूद शरीफ भेजे. So there is no fixed ibadat during this night. One can engage in what type of ibadat which is suitable to him. But for people like us, for example, we should decide how much I want to stay awake. So if somebody wants to stay awake for 1 hour, and he can divide 1 hour and 15 minutes. 15 minutes for performing salat, 15 minutes for reciting Quran Sharif, 15 minutes for making zikr. And zikr we can recite first kalima, second kalima, third kalima, fourth kalima, do Sharif istighfar. This covers all the sunnah zikr. So 15 minutes and 15 minutes for dua. So that is 1 hour past in ibadat. If somebody just wants to stay for 1 hour, he can pass 1 hour like this, then go to sleep. If somebody wants to stay 2 hours, then he can repeat the same routine in the second hour. Or even better, stay awake one night after Isha and 1 hour at Sahri time, which is the best time of the night for acceptance of dua and Allah Ta'ala's mercy descending. So that is the best way that we wake up for Sahri, inshallah. So we wake up little early, 1 hour, and then carry out this routine. 15 minutes for salat, 15 minutes for Quran Sharif, minutes for zikr, and 15 minutes for dua. So in that way we will engage in ibadat, we won't feel the burden of it, and we will acquire the benefit of this night and this ibadat. But it should be individually, not collectively, not in a jamaat form. क्योंकि इस रात के जागने में मुजतमा होने को अक्सर उलमा ने नाजायज़ कहा है. During this virtuous night, Laylatul Qadr in Ramzan Sharif, Shab-e Qadr, Shab-e Baraat, and any virtuous night, the most of the ulama say it is makruh to gather and do ibadat collectively. People gather in a masjid because usually it's difficult to stay for a long time at home. So if people stay in masjid after Isha, but engage in individual ibadat, that is permissible. But they should not engage in collective ibadat, performing nafal salat with jamaat and other type of activities. It should be individually, not collectively. चुनाचे दुर्र मुख्तार और उसके हाशिए में यानी रद्दुल मुख्तार शामी, which is very famous हनफी किताब और मसाइल. चुनाचे दुर्र मुख्तार और उसके हाशिए में है कि ईद उल फितर और ईद उल अधा की दोनों रात और शब बरात और रमज़ान के अशरे अखीरा की रातों और ज़िल हिज्जा के अव्वल अशरे की रातों का जागना और इबादत करना तन्हा तन्हा मुस्तहब है. So it is written in Durr Mukhtar and Shami that on these nights, the Eid al-Fitr night, Eid al-Adha night, Shab-e Barat, which is tonight, or Ramzan Sharif, and the last 10 days of Ramzan Sharif, or first 10 days of Zil Hijjah, so it is mustahab to stay awake and make ibadat during these nights. But individually, not collectively. क्योंकि इन रातों में किसी रात की इबादत के लिए मसाजिद में जमा होने को उलमा ने सराहतन मकरूह लिखा है. Because ulama have said very explicitly, clearly, that to gather in the masjid and carry out these ibadats collectively, it is makruh, meaning against the method of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu used to make nafal ibadat in his home, as we used to learn that he did not go to the masjid, and even in i'tikaf, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would perform salat and do other ibadat alone. When people started to gather behind him, so Rasulullah stopped performing the nafal salat. So all these ibadats, they should be carried out best at home. If somebody can't carry out at home, he goes to masjid, it is permissible, but he should do the ibadat individually, not in a Jamaat form. और बहरुर राइक में है, which is शरह of कंजुद दकाइक, कि जिसका कि बहरुर राइक में है जिसका माह रजब के पहले जुमा में रिवाज हो रहा है और मालूम हुआ कि वो बिदअत है. So in that time people would have been gathering in the first Juma of Rajab in the masjid and doing ibadat collectively. So Sahib Bahrul Raik, he says it is bidat. So Berhal, we stay in masjid and madrasa, so this is our home. So but Alhamdulillah we carry out our ibadat, reciting Quran Sharif, making zikr, making dua and performing salat individually. That is the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. और जो शख्स शबे बरात में लंबी नमाज पढ़ना चाहे तो मुनासिब है कि सलातुत तस्बीह पढ़े. Our elders, they were very consistent with performing the salat. Nowadays people, they don't have the courage, and usually people do not perform it. It's a salat Rasulullah sallallahu advised his uncle Hazrat Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu that if possible, perform every night. If you can't perform every night, once in a week. If you can't perform once in a week, then once in a month. If you can't perform once in a month, once in a year time. At least once in a lifetime. So our elder people, they used to be very consistent. They would go early to Jummah and go to masjid early and perform. It's usually dependent because you recite third kalimah 350 times in 4 rakat. So usually it takes 45 minutes to 1 hour. So nevertheless, that either recites Salatul Tasbih, or for a Hafiz, he recites Quran Sharif, he can recite his Sabak Para, he can recite his Dor Para. So for a Hafiz, he recites Quran Sharif, that is even better. Nevertheless, if somebody wants to recite, perform long Salat, then he can perform Salatul Tasbih. कि उसका पढ़ना सुन्नत से साबित है और उसकी फजीलत मज़कूर है. So it's approved by sunnat and his virtue is approved by Rasulullah sunnat also. चुनांचे अबू दाऊद वगैरह ने हज़रत अब्बास बिन अब्दुल मुत्तलिब से फरमाया रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने, ए अब्बास, ए मेरे चचा, क्या मैं तुमको 10 खूबियों की अता और सखा की खबर इत्तिला न दूं? Rasulullah said to his uncle Hazrat Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala, oh my uncle, should I not give you good tidings of 10 qualities? कि जब तुम उस काम को करो तो हक़ ताला तुम्हारे गुनाह बख्श देंगे. When you do it, Allah will forgive your sins. अगले भी पिछले भी, what have occurred in the past and what will occur in the future. Jadid bhi, qadim bhi, new sins and old sins. Khata'an bhi, amadan bhi. What has occurred by mistake and what has occurred deliberately. Chote bhi, bade bhi. Your small sins and big sins. Chupe bhi or khule bhi. Whether they concealed, hidden sins or open sins. When you perform these salat sincerely, inshallah, all the sins will be forgiven. Because it contains tawbah also. और वो ये है कि 4 रकत पढ़ो, कि हर रकत में अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह शरीफ और कोई सूरत पढ़ो. Just like normal, we perform normal 4 rakat salat. Recite Surah Fatiha and then recite another surat with it. And after that, 15 martaba. So, first rakat recite Surah Fatiha and then any surat, and after that 15 times third kalima. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, up till here. So 15 times standing up. So if you have to count, you can count. So that in the first rakat, read normal Quran Sharif, Surah Fatiha and some other surat, and after reciting that, standing in a standing position, recite third kalima, Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, up till here, 15 times. Fir ruku karo, then go into ruku and recite the tasbih or ruku, or you can recite the tasbih from the beginning. Or ruku mein 10 martaba yahi padho, so 10 times in the ruku. Fir ruku se sar uthao, then come in the coma, raise your head from ruku, and while standing between ruku and sajda, recite 10 times again. 10 martaba yahi padho. So 15, 10, 10 and 10. 15 is in qiyam, 10 in ruku, 10 in coma, so that is 35. Fir sajde mein jao, then go into sajda, or sajde mein 10 martaba usko padho and recite 10 times in the first sajda. Fir sajde se sar uthao, then raise your head from sajda, or jalse mein 10 martaba usko padho. Between the two sajda, recite 10 times. Fir dusre sajde mein jao, then do second sajda and 10 martaba usko padho. Again recite 10 times in the second sajda. Fir utkar jalse mein 10 martaba usko padho. Then sit down before standing up and recite 10 times in the jalsa. So this is 75 times. ये हर रकत में 75 मरतबा हुई. So in each rakat complete 75, 75. So the total will be 350, 300. 75, 75, 150. So it's a 300. इतना ही पढ़ो. अगर रोज़ाना इस नमाज को पढ़ सको तो पढ़ा करो. Rasulullah advised Abbas radiallahu ta'ala, if you can perform this salat every day, do so. और न हो सके तो हर जुमा में एक बार. If you can't perform this salat every day, then every Juma once. और ये भी न हो सके तो हर साल में एक मरतबा. And if you can't perform every week, then once in a year. और इतना भी न हो सके तो उम्र भर में एक मरतबा पढ़ ही लो. And if you can't recite, then at least once in a lifetime. So it's a very virtuous salat. Allah give us tawfiq for it. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.